Welcome to Radis Live. I'm your host, Radis. Today I have a very special guest, producer, MC, chess master, and friend, Uncle Reem. Please introduce yourself to the listeners of Radis Live and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, peace, family. First of all, man, appreciate you, Riders, for having me on. You know, me and Riders, we met back in college, man, up at Harold Washington College back in the day. And I
Mm,
just recognize this brother off top to be a real genuine brother. And I also recognize this brother just to be about his business, man. Like I remember, like we exchanged CDs. I had like a janky looking CD. Riders had like top quality. I was like, damn. I went home, told the queen, like, hey, bro got some money behind his CD, like, and it just was like, it was inspirational even then, for me, just, seeing the level that, the level and the intent brother put behind his work. But that aside, I'm born and raised in Chicago. I'm from the West Side, Austin area, raised on Menard and Madison. Um, you know,
okay.
yeah, used to hang out on Cicero, Washington, or whatever. That's my origin. I've been back and forth from Chicago to Charlotte for some years because my pops he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I got kicked out of high school, had to move to Charlotte for a few years, came back. But as far as hip hop goes, I've been wrote my first rap when I was 8 years old. And I've been into
Woo,
it ever since. Yeah, I wrote my first rap when I was 8 years old. I'm 48 now, so do the math.
man,
That's how long I've been into this hip hop.
that's what's
Uh,
popping. I first heard your work when you was with this very talented, articulate, lyrical group called The Ranks.
oh, absolutely, yeah. So the ranks, just to give you a little background on the ranks, we met in the mosque. Because I didn't really state that I'm a member of the Nation of Islam. I'm not active right now. I won't pretend to be, but I am a registered member of the Nation of Islam. Which, back when I first met you, Riders, I actually was real active. That probably was the most active that I
Yeah,
was.
you
I can't.
was active, but you know what? You was down to earth,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I came to school every day, suit and bow tie.
It's
Yeah,
all
brother, I
good.
tell you, I was real, very, very vigilant. But like you said, I always been the same brother.
Mm-hmm.
I come from, again, I come from a street background, and the mods pretty much helped me to walk a straight path because I was into a lot of foolishness that I shouldn't have been into, growing up or whatever, and the mods helped me pretty much, walk straight or whatever. But the brothers in the ranks, we met. We were all young brothers in the mods because I came in the mods when I was like 21. All these brothers were all around the same age. And, we had a mutual love for hip hop. Particularly we were all big Wu-Tang fans and stuff. and,
Okay.
and so we wanted to form like a group, you know, similar to how Wu had a group or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
and, and so we all got serious about it. We put out a project called The Opening, which was a really dope project, but it was a mixtape. And we eventually put out other projects. One of the projects you can get on any of the platforms, but it was called Blood Off Our Hands. And yeah, we were real cohesive. My brother Tim Six used to do the beats for us, and we had some really good, some really strong material back then.
Man, when I got the CD from you, I was like, man, this thing blazing. It's hot. It's hot like toast popping up out of the oven. So, is it safe to say that the Wu Tang Clan is one of your musical influences?
Yeah, so yeah, Wu Tang Clan, the RZA in particular, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely one of my musical influences because Um, and I first heard them when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is the South, but it's pretty much East Coast because half of the people there from New York, but well here rather because I'm living here now. But
Right.
half of the people here from New York or whatever. So I got family from New York, a lot of them. So I first heard of the Wu back in '92 pardon
Mm-hmm.
me, 93 when I visited my family in New York.
Right.
My father's side of the family, they from North Carolina, but if you know anything about black migratory patterns,
Right.
um, most of the people from North Carolina got family in New York, right? Just like most
Mm-hmm.
people in Chicago got family in Mississippi, Memphis,
Right.
Tennessee, like that. So my father's side of the family all here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but a
Okay.
lot of them migrated north to New York. And so when I would go see my family that's in New York, me and my cousin we snuck out and went to this club. We went to go see Wu-Tang Clan. That was my first time hearing them.
Eee.
Yeah. So and this was back like when they first came out, like and so but I was hooked in since then. And like when I came back to Chicago, you know, I got locked. I went through a bunch of stuff, got locked up, all that. Got out, came back home to Chicago. Um, and some of the brothers, a lot of the brothers out west was listening to him,
Right.
because I think I don't know, like a lot of people that was under the fire was listening to Wu Tang. I guess it's because of the they content,
And a
they have
similar lifestyles.
yeah, because
Like you can't tell me that if Ghostface was here, they'd be under the fan.
yeah,
Him,
oh yeah,
that,
definitely, yeah, definitely,
you could just tell dirty,
yeah,
meth.
because a lot of what they were spitting, you could find some of it in our lit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of the brothers like the moles and in the town was drawn off Wu heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I was Mafia Insane Vice Lord or whatever, the Vice Lords from out west. A lot of us was listening to them, and so
Mm-hmm.
so that then it resonated with me a little bit more, from there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
so yeah, and I just was like really enthralled by the RZA's way that he made his beats and stuff like that. So how he managed to keep it gritty and stuff. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
even though I was a huge Drake fan, that's another influencer, man. Just you know you know
Yeah.
yeah, I was a huge Drake fan. Hold on one second, somebody's trying to call me. Let me send that to voicemail. Pardon me, I'm sorry about that.
No
But yeah,
problem.
but I was a huge Dr. Dre fan. Prior to Wu Tang, I was a big NWA fan, and
Mm-hmm.
so Dre was somebody who also influenced me. Dre, DJ Premier, Jay Dilla, RZA, all these guys are influences of mine. RZA probably more so because, like I said, I was heavier into that at the
Right.
time, and because I related to these guys because it's 9 MCs.
Man,
Every single one of them is remind me of somebody I know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's this brother from up north named Ugly Eye. He remind me of Old Dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, like it was a cat out west. You know what I'm saying? One of the C ads. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dion. He reminded me of Old Dirty as well. So yeah, it was like a counterpart in the neighborhood of that reminded me of each one of these cats.
Right, right. And like on a Shark Nigga skit with Ghost and Ray, when
Yeah.
Ghostface was saying what he was saying about Biggie by Nas album, man, he sound like a Chicago dude.
Nigga spit off a notch. Yeah.
He said, I don't want nobody front for me.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't
just
gotta
one
front
cat.
for me.
One of the moles in the town. Named we used to call him Goggles Lonzo. Rest in peace, because he passed away a few years ago. He
Right,
used to remind me of Ghostface, and he
right,
he had that same, I guess, mannerism about himself.
right,
And yeah, so like I said, it was a counterpart for every one of them individuals. So it was easy for us to relate to. You know.
right, exactly. So like my first introduction to hip hop was like uh, Run DMC, Crush Groove,
Mm.
all of that. But I was heavy into Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and them initially. But like you said, you lived in Charlotte, back and forth. But when I was in the Marines, I lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and that's how I got introduced to like the Wu, Nas, Mob Deep. Matter of fact, one of the guys in my platoon from Motor T, he was from Queens.
Well,
But you could tell that, he used to be kind of fronting and stuff like that. But I wasn't tripping on that. But He used to go home every weekend, and everybody who went home with him always got robbed, but nothing happened to him. You know,
He was saying, and he was setting people
he
up.
was sending people up. He was
And
like, "Man, hon, you want to go home with me?" I was like, "No, I'm good." You know, but
yeah, he was backdooring cats.
exactly. But I did actually go with some of my other people. You know what I'm saying? So artist and producer. Now you've done something that I've been contemplating. You know, I dabble with the production, but let's talk about shelf life.
Yes, sir.
Shelf life. First of all, it's an amazing project from 1 to 15. You did all the production, right?
Yes, sir.
I like I like the minimal features that you have on the album. Nothing is unnecessary. Everything they say ain't nothing perfect, ain't nobody perfect. The album is perfect. It's
Oh, praise
stellar.
the dudes for a lot.
And you did it all by yourself.
Praise the dudes for a lot.
Now,
Yes, sir.
what a lot of people don't understand as a creative, like my pen is better than my production, but I work on my production every day, right?
Yes, sir.
But if I have a thought, I can get the production out how I have it in my head. It's crazy, you know?
Yes, sir.
So, what made you say, "Hey, look, I'm going to write this thing. I'm going to produce this thing." I see some of the catalyst behind you.
Yes, sir.
I see some of the catalyst behind you. So did you say, "Hey, I didn't invest in this for nothing"?
So, what's crazy was, like I told you, just to go back into my background a little bit. Like, you know, I was hustling. Back in the day, I was hustling. I was gang banging.
Mm-hmm.
Trying not to gang bang so much. I was, like I say in that one song, I wasn't really a gang bang. I was just a gang member. But being a
Right.
member, the bang ain't gonna find you eventually. But
Exactly.
but during that time when I would be hustling, I was always rapping. I told you I've been rapping since I was 8 years old, so I
That's
was
the
rapping. And
pastime. That's the pastime on the block,
yeah,
rapping.
yeah, yeah. And so like, but whenever I would try to get cats, to invest with me to get some equipment and all that type of stuff, yeah, nobody wanted to take that step, but they all would be like, "Oh, you cold, you can spit."
Right.
But but I would tell them, man, let's put our money together, man. Let's get this MPC 3000 or that, But they wouldn't want to do it, so I would go to studios and stuff like that. And whenever I would go to studios, I never would be pleased with the production.
Right.
Not, I would like the beat and everything, but the overall production, I would never be pleased with. They could never get my voice, because you hear my voice is distinct, right? I have a really distinct voice. It's not a
Yes.
real easy voice to mix, and you get what I'm saying, and get
Right.
right. So
Right.
so they were unable to really. When I would go back home and listen to what they would produce, my voice never sounded like I wanted it to sound,
Right.
if that makes sense. And so
I understand.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody likes to hear themselves initially.
Right. But there was this it was a white guy from Chicago named Joe Blow when we did the Ranks albums.
Okay.
And he was the only one that ever get my voice to sound how I wanted it to sound, to get where I could get in the right pocket, and it sounded, man, I was like, man, like I did a song called Cream 2000, 2010 or something like that.
Right.
And we did another song called Off With His Head or whatever. And he actually did the engineering, for me, and he was able to get it how I wanted it. And I just took a lot of pointers from him, and so I decided, since nobody else could get it right, I'm gonna get it right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was really the catalyst behind me really doing my own production. So later on, when I started really, I was like, forget dudes, people don't want to invest. I'm gonna just do it myself. I started buying equipment,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to make beats. I started with an MPC 2000 XL, and
Mm-hmm.
when I was making beats, but I was horrible at it.
Right.
I eventually got good at it. Got a lot better at it, and
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, but life happens. You know, I had kids, and went to school. And so I put it on the back burner for a while,
Right.
and to focus on life, focus on making sure my kids finish high school, went to and went to college and all that.
Nourishing the seeds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now all my kids are grown and married and on their own path. So
That's
that's when I
good.
decided to get back to it, because one thing just to touch on something, and not to just really jump off a topic, but I feel this need to be said.
It's cool.
There's like a stigma of black men, and I consider it an attack on black men. But you notice how in every genre, age doesn't matter.
Right.
But
It's
in hip hop,
only ageism in hip hop.
but in hip hop, we got that ageism stigma, and I just wanted to say, to me, it's BS, because it seemed like hip hop that's ours, black men, and
Right.
and it's like, why our genre got to be the one that's attacked with ageism? That I have an issue with that, and so
Exactly.
so it was a debate for me for a second, like, should I, as a black man that's nearly 50, get back to this rap? But then I started seeing Killer Mike win Grammys, and it started seeing Nas come back and put all these dope ass albums out, and
Man.
all these Wu members come in, and you have Smith and Wesson and all these guys making these dope ass albums,
Yes.
and it sounded
Yes.
better than the other stuff that's out. So I said, you know what? Fuck the ageism. Pardon my French, but
Hey, I get it. I understand, and I agree.
yeah, and so and then and like I said, you was always doing music that whole time, and I was vibing off what you was doing. I say, man, I'm gonna just do what I gotta do, man.
Man.
And it's hard. It is an uphill climb, because people not so quick to give you a chance.
Right. And people be holding valuable information,
Yeah,
and it's no need for that.
right. And so so that's what caused me to get into this this current shelf life, and just to get into shelf life a little bit. And a lot of people ask me what the concept is, like, what what do I mean by shelf life? Why that title?
Right.
Um, I'm just talking about, like, how you go to the store, you got perishable items.
Yeah.
Perishable items have a shelf life.
Exactly.
And so, and I use that kind of as like a metaphor for, a lot of our activities, and, in the street, like I touch on street life, I touch on our sisters, and, how they carry themselves. It's shelf life to all that behavior. You know what I mean? To all that counterproductive behavior. It can land you in prison. It can land you in the grave. Or it can land you in college, like it did me, depending on if you're gonna learn from your mistakes or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's a
So
lesson. Life is a lesson. You
exactly.
gotta appreciate the journey of life.
Right, but certain activity, you can't do that forever. You know what I
No,
mean?
you can't. It
You
has a
got
shelf life.
yeah, exactly. And that was the whole logic of that concept for the album.
Now I seen one thing on your shelf on the artwork that I disagree with.
What you see?
The record player has no shelf life.
Right. Yeah, yeah. No. Yeah.
But
But
that was it.
it
I,
all depends though.
I like how you had everything up there, and I was like, I get it. I get where he coming from.
Right,
But
right.
I wanted to ask because I didn't want to assume anything. So did you make a variety of beats and pick, or you made a beat and said, hey, I'm writing to this, it's staying. I'm writing to this, it's staying.
I write a variety of beats. Because
Okay.
there's a lot of beats I make you'll never hear.
Hey, I understand.
Yeah,
I
you'll never hear.
understand.
Yeah, because I mean, I make a lot. I probably make beats every day, right? And a lot of that, I ain't gonna front. A lot of that shit be whack.
Right, but you know what? What you created and presented for the world is stellar.
Appreciate that.
It's stellar, you
Yeah.
know?
And I did about 30 songs. Well, I got way more songs than that, but towards this project, I've been working on this. Has been a work in progress for 3 years, and
Man, it's good. You ain't make water, you made wine.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and so I made about 30 songs, and I picked, the best. I picked the best ones until it felt complete to me,
Right.
and like just to track back another influence of mine is Nas, right? And, like when Illmatic first dropped, I was down here in Charlotte and I was heavy in the streets. And I went about 15, 16 at the time. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I was moving way too fast at the time. Like
Right.
I probably was gonna get killed or something if I would have. You know what? I probably can't say that, right?
No, you could say that.
Okay, yeah, I probably was gonna get killed or something. I would have kept it up, man.
Right.
Like going to jail actually saved my life, probably. But
Right. Gotta sit
but
you down at the right
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But that Nas Illmatic, man, when that came out, bro, that resonated so much. Man, I listened to that. I used to listen to that album over and over and over and over and over again, right?
Me too.
But I remember watching an interview when Nas talked about, when he created Illmatic, because it was only 9 songs, bro. It's only 9 songs on that. A lot of us don't realize it, bro. It's only 9 songs on the album, right? And people
Yeah.
ask like, why was it so short? He said it felt complete to me.
And it was complete because
Yeah,
he was hitting on a lot of stuff that I could
yeah,
really resonate with, you
yeah.
know.
Everything, man, everything in that album, bro, resonated with me heavy. Cause I was,
Hmm.
living that lifestyle he was rapping about, and he had such a poetic approach to everything, and it just, yeah, man.
Hmm.
Like even to this day, I still, that's still like a go-to heavy rotation.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's definitely inspiration.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but so with this album, that's how I wanted to do it. I wanted to, to come from a real organic place, and I wanted to feel complete to me. I didn't want to do like that's why it's no skits on the album. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I thought about skits, but I was like, nah, let's just do this. Let's just you had the music, and I just wanted even like the way that it's arranged. I wanted each song to kind of hit at the right point, if that makes sense.
It's sequenced perfectly. Hey, if y'all listening to this podcast, y'all go ahead and download Shelf Life on all streaming platforms by Uncle Reem. Produced by Uncle Reem. He got joints on there. And I ain't just hyping it up. Y'all know how I do.
Yeah.
You know, what's some of your favorite songs on the album?
So my favorite song on the album is Pandemonium.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah, because like it's the gritty hip hop, it's that boom bap, 90s era hip hop, golden era hip hop that I'm into, and and
Hmm.
it, and and it pretty much presents like the debate that a lot of us artists in our age range go through in terms of like how should we, what should we do, how should we approach the bars or whatever, you know,
Hmm.
should I preach or should I talk street stuff or what should I do? You know what I
Right.
mean? And how
Hmm.
should I approach this? And it just presents that question, you
Right.
know. And so that's my favorite because again, like the production on it is it has a feel of like what I come up listening to. And the lyrics is
Hmm.
just me, just being real and coming to the realization that I'm not gonna follow nothing. I'm gonna just say what's on my mind, essentially.
And that's what works because it's a complete body of work, you know?
Yeah. So Shelf Life is my favorite song on the album, and uh, maybe a close second is maybe Soldier.
Man,
Um,
I got so many.
yeah, yes. BBL. That's from a production vantage point. I mean, I think that probably I think musically that's a complete song. I believe. Um,
Man, you got a lot of good ones.
and I'm putting there's no samples on that song. I just these keyboards, just played it on the keyboard and the strings, all that type of stuff, and that one is maybe one of the favorites, and lastly, one of the favorites is Mecca and the Soul Brother. Pardon me. Which I
Yeah.
I jacked that title from Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Shout out Pete Rock and
It's
CL
all
Smooth.
good. I see where you went with it and where you was going. It's perfect how you presented it.
Yeah. So the reason why I named it Mecca and the Soul Brother, because the sister that's rapping with me, and check for her. Her sister's name is Heck of a Mecca. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Hecava Mecca. So she's a sister in the mosque, in the Nation of Islam out of Akron, Ohio.
And she
Really dope
bodied it.
MC.
She
Really
bodied
dope
it.
MC. And she's a really good singer because she actually provides the vocals on my song Shiro as well.
That's one of my favorites too.
Appreciate that. But the reason why these songs were some of my favorites is because I was able to I had never like did production with live instrumentation before. And so like my Mecca and the Soul Brother, I have a guitarist by the name of Gavin Dahl, who's
Okay.
a local from here in Charlotte. Gavin
Mm-hmm.
Dahl, Dahl. You could also check out some of his music. If he's he's a good musician. Period. He
Mm-hmm.
plays every type of guitar, but I had him to provide a lead guitar for the chorus,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was able to have an experience, working with somebody with the lead guitar in that song, and also working with one of my favorite MCs, in the Nation of Islam, Sister Mecca. She really should be a lot bigger, man. Like I'm telling you, check her music out, man. You won't be disappointed.
I'm gonna check it out because when she came on there, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fire!"
But that's why I call it Mecca and the Soul Brother, because I like to consider myself soulful. I'm not the Soul Brother, that's Pete Rock, but I just thought that I felt that to give a little homage to the Pete Rock and CL Smooth simultaneously as a title to the song, I thought was a pretty decent thing. And then Gavin Dahl also he played the bass guitar for my song She Wrote. And like the
Yeah.
bass line on there, yeah, it was a bass guitar. And so yeah, but that's why. But like Mecca and the Soul Brother, that's why it's one of my favorites because lyrically, Mecca called me she didn't call me. Pardon me. She posted. She said she needed like a beat that was kind of sound like she was like she needed a Wu flavor beat, right?
Right.
and so I had that beat, and I was originally gonna make a song called Gem Stars. You know what I mean? Like Gem,
Right.
what Gem Stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was originally gonna make a song called Gem Stars with that beat. But then I was like, you know what? I sent it to her, let her check it out. Bro, she sent me back that verse. I was like, oh, this is dope. And so we decided to just go on here and do a song with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was.
Man, hey, when it came on, I was like, that's tight. This is tight right here. But like I said, the whole album is really sequenced well. And like what you were saying about the live instrumentation, like on my first album, the engineer where I was recording, he was like, "Man, this will really be a banger if you had some live bass on here." I was like, "Man, where am I find a bass guitarist at?" He
That's
went
the
and
album
grabbed.
where you had that one joint, North Side of Chicago, West
No,
Side of Chicago.
it's actually the one before that, like my first album.
Okay. I didn't
And
hear that one. But
hey,
that the first
I'll hook you up with it.
okay.
It's on all the platforms, but I don't got no more copies left.
Right.
So he came out and started playing the bass guitar.
Oh man.
And I was like, wow. And people they love that song. But he got that ear.
Yeah. You,
It's
you know, you
good.
know who your flow kind of remind me of, brothers?
Who?
Capadonna.
Oh wow. Hey, I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. Like
appreciate
yeah,
that.
your flow kind of remind me of Capadonna though.
Man,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like Cap.
Oh, you like Cap?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Cap.
Not like in a biting way.
I know.
You get what I'm saying, but like in your
Yeah,
own way. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But
that's
I
what's up.
and that album, your album, your new
Hmm.
album, bro, that shit hard, bro.
Man, thank you.
Cover to
I
cover, bro.
appreciate it.
Cover to cover, man. That production is so dope. I don't know who does your production. Whoever does it, man, they did an excellent job. That you know what that album remind me of, man? It remind me of like remember Comet's album Like Water for Chocolate? Like
Yeah,
production wise, that remind me of
the
like
Soul
Water for Chocolate.
Aquarians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remind me of remind me of Soul Aquarian type production.
Hmm. Man,
Yeah. I was like
I
the,
appreciate that.
yeah, it's like the way they do their drums, bro. The drums on that album, yeah, that kind of remind me of almost like Dilla's drums almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Let,
know if that was intentional. Well, not or Questlove or Dilla drums. I don't know if that was intentional, but
I just picked what sound nice. So
yeah.
let me shout out those producers because one of them DM me, man, talking real crazy, man. It's not right. It's not right. So shout out to Skagnetti, Ben Malik, Chips, Swiss Boy, Bootleg the producer, and the Cypher Beats.
Yeah, and the MCs you had on there was yeah, also features A1,
Man.
bro.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank you, Cormega, Black Sun,
yeah.
Cadiz, Nosen, and BC. Yeah.
How you get Mega, man?
Man, I actually met him. I met him when he came out with the Born and Raised album, but we stayed in contact on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how I met him. But when I came out with my third album, Focus of Foe, I had this video called Sunflower Seeds. And we
Mhm.
follow each other on Twitter, and he was like, "Man, bro, I want to be on your album."
Oh,
So
that's
for that album that that we conversed over, I sent him the beat and he ain't like it. So I wound up getting Nature on that album instead.
yeah,
And
Nation.
then I told Mega like, yo, we still gonna do one. He was like, cool. So whenever he come to Chicago and have a show or whatever, me and my man IE, we hold him down. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what's crazy? You say you got Nation on that
Yeah.
instead of Mega. Hey, that's crazy because did Nation end up on the Firm album?
Yeah, but yeah,
When
but
Mega was supposed to be on the Firm album?
yeah, but you know what? They cool.
Yeah.
You know, and
That just it's just the irony. That's all I was
right.
just pointing
I
out. Yeah, that's
know.
kind of ironic.
Yeah, but they cool.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to you offline.
Tenfold. Yeah, no, I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't like
No.
I was just it just hit me like dang, that's kind of
But
ironic.
see, I know why you asked that because you was in North Carolina hearing all of the mixtapes. You was
Yeah,
hearing the mixtapes, the back and forth. I already know.
yeah,
Cause that's where I was. Man. That's how I got up on a lot of people from NY. Like rest
yeah.
in peace, Black Rob,
Black
DMX. You
yeah,
know.
X. Yeah, man. Dark Man X. But it was crazy about Mega though, man. Look, man, Mega was dope, man. Like I still remember that when you
Yeah.
bring your heater or your cream go between us. Hey
Yeah.
boy, hey Mega was cold. Like and like I said, I was looking forward to hearing him on the Firm album back
Yeah.
then.
Me too. I
Yeah,
was upset. I was
yeah, that
upset. But I did hear Nature on the Clue tapes, but
yeah,
I would have preferred what they presented to us from It Was Written.
exactly, yeah. But they, they things come back full circle, and they was on
Hmm.
that one joint on Nas album, with Dre or whatever. That was cold.
Yeah, that
You know,
was good. Yeah,
I thought they was gonna do an album or something. They still make us not, Nas and Master Pill. They putting a lot of stuff out right now. So
Man, they
who
putting
knows?
Slick Rick come out June 13th.
Man, I know it's gonna be dope too.
Yeah. So he
Yeah,
about to put out Slick Rick, Mob Deep, Raekwon, Ghostface,
yeah.
um, Big L, him and Premier coming out, and De La Soul. Like a lot of these legends, they've been coming out killing it. Red
Heck yeah,
Man, and
heck
like you
yeah.
said, Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
They got Ralph Tresvant on their album, but that album is hard.
Like even this
Hard.
joint here, man. Like this joint here, this is a dope album.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that. You checked it out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a dope album, man. I was like, damn, man, everybody, all these OGs, man, they putting on harder than the youngest. Not not to like
Not
not
anybody.
to or not to be divisive or whatever, because I like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what these youngsters is doing, man.
Me too.
Yeah, I love Herbo and you know, yeah, I like a lot of these youngsters, man.
So I wanted to ask you this. So who's your favorite youngin
Out of
out?
the
They could be alive or deceased or just give me three. And
okay,
I'll give you three.
okay, let me see. So I'll look at it from a genre perspective.
Okay.
I let me see. I like Cole,
Yes.
North Carolina. Stand the fuck up. You know what I'm
Fayetteville.
saying? Cole. My favorite artist my favorite, I guess. I don't want to say mainstream, but I guess you could say mainstream artist out of Chicago, out of the youngins is G Herbo.
Okay.
Yeah, G Herbo, and I like also I like lyrically. I think it probably Montana 300.
Man, people sleep on Montana,
Yeah,
man.
Montana 300, man.
That's what's up. So
That dude got bars, man. I don't know why people slept on him so hard.
yes, yes. But one thing that I do like about Montana 300 is he moving doing him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's how you gotta do it. Like I got the utmost respect for you having the heart to create something so good. But far as the youngins, I like Lil Durk.
yeah,
I like King Von,
yeah.
and I'm trying to think of one more youngin.
Yeah, I like Durkio and Von. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and rest in peace to Von, and Duck. Man, I wish Duck would have had been able to
yes,
do more, because Duck was making some really good music, bro.
yeah, he was
I just
making good music.
I just wish that it wasn't like that energy. You know what I mean? That I understand
Yeah.
because we used to gang bang, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wish all that.
I know.
That kind of falls on us, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Like we failed the
yeah,
youngins in
yeah, we
some
failed them, man.
capacity.
Like I said, like I got this little movement that I want to start. Make lit mandatory again.
Man, woo!
Yeah,
So okay, like one joint on my album, that's what I'm talking
I
about. The
heard it.
fucking you
Yeah,
heard
yeah, I peeped it. I say, oh snap, we on the same page.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, yeah, that it'll be a lot of order, but one thing that I've noticed, like since they let all these people in the country and everybody deserve a chance and everything, I ain't seen nobody hanging out. None of the youngins, they don't be hanging out. You don't see them in a mall, nothing,
no,
nowhere.
no. I mean, they on these devices.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't go outside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh, they Grand Theft Auto kids, grown up.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was bad design, but the
Oh,
game is cool. So my favorite joint is I like Shelf Life.
appreciate that. Oh yeah, and just to give, since you mentioned Shelf Life, just give a shout out to Slime Trip,
Mm-hmm.
who's featured on that. It was crazy. Is
Man.
this a kid or one of the one of the cats from from a project. I used to, when I lived in Charlotte back
Mm-hmm.
then. I
Mm-hmm.
lived in a housing project called Dalton Village Projects.
Okay.
It have since got renovated and everything, and and it's nice now. But his pops was somebody I used to hang with. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Is
I
it
should think
is it is there any plans in the work for him coming out with an EP or a project or
he
two?
got some stuff out. Yeah, the Slime Trip. He
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of music out. Yeah, and in fact he's working. He's putting out a new project now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And like I said, he rap and sing.
Oh
And
man, the best of both worlds. Look
you
at
know,
Drake.
yeah, and I did some production with him on other joints. That it's not out yet, but we gonna hear real soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get some of that Uncle Reem heat.
Oh
We
yeah, I'm
talked
working on
about.
something. Like I said, you said you want something aggressive and something kind of like an anthem. Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, I've been working and
that's what's
seeing.
popping.
I'm gonna send something your way and let you decide whether you're interested or not. In it.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm interested.
Right.
So I like Shelf Life. I like Mecca and the Soul Brother. I like Soldier. I really like Shiro.
Okay.
I like New Faces.
New
I
faces.
really like New Faces.
Yes,
If you're
sir.
a new face, you can't come on a block.
Right.
Hey, and I like Libation.
Libation.
Yeah, and my DMs.
I see the hell up out of my DMs.
Yeah, I like that, man. It's really a lot of range on here, but by me knowing you and having conversations with you, I wouldn't expect nothing less than what you put out,
Praise just for life. Yes, sir.
Especially like the ranks, y'all's like the locks or something to
Appreciate
me,
that.
you know.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you jumping on that Spitters edition. Both of those mixtapes still on that pip right now. Yeah. Yeah. So is there any plans on you doing an instrumental album? Possibly.
Hey, that's a good idea, man. There wasn't no plans, but you might have just put it on my man right now.
That's what's
Okay.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That I might do that. You mean like an instrumental of the album that I put out already, or like just an all instrumental album?
You can actually, put out, Shelf Life the instrumentals.
Yeah, that
And
makes
then
sense.
and then if you create some new, you can make instrumental EPs, albums, or whatever. I gave you the vinyl plug already.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, and that's coming soon. Like, yeah, I appreciate, man. You gave me a wealth of information, man. This brother right here, this a real brother. For everybody who listening. Yeah, this brother, man, he a good brother, man. He a real brother. He got in my inbox, man. It just willingly just gave me all kinds of information that's gonna help me. Just unabated, man. Like that's what a real brother does. That's what a real good brother does. Like because there's a lot of gatekeepers out here, brother. Not that, brother want to see you win, and I really appreciate that, and that was real, man. That was real, bro. Like, yeah,
Gratitude.
yeah, for real, man. That's real, and like I said, whatever you need, I'm, for me, and
Say
if it's in my
less.
capacity, I'm on that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Say
because like I said,
less.
everybody not like that. You know what I mean?
I already know.
Yeah, everybody not
Already
like
know.
that.
Hey, when I listened to Shelf Life, it took me back to places. Like I was there. I was there in your album. And like even on Pandemonium, I was like, man, this is an ongoing thing every day. If you go to Instagram, they talking about stuff that don't matter. Like, for example, relationships. Like you called me prior to us, getting on here. Do you know I had your number still in the phone from back in the day? It
Wow, that's
popped
crazy.
up. It
Wow.
popped up. But the thing is, like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Like a lot of these relationship people, they don't never say that, relationships are constantly work. Like even with the music, it's work.
It's definitely work.
It's work,
That's
you
sir,
know?
force times distance.
Man,
Yeah.
preach, church, tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Speaking of relationships, Angelic was kind of
Oh, I
addresses
forgot about that too.
relationships. Yeah,
Man, I'm gonna have to listen again for the fourth time. I just got it, but it's in a rotation. Y'all
yeah.
go ahead and get Shelf Life in y'all rotation. I'm gonna leave a link to the project in the show notes of this episode.
You know
Y'all
what
go
though?
ahead and stream it. Hmm?
Riders. You know what though? When you ask me who's my favorite artist of these younger artists, I forgot to mention Glorilla, bro.
Oh man, I like
Sister
her.
Cole, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Glow
And,
Cole. I know a lot of people probably hate on her and all that, and not a lot of older people because of I guess her message, like they ain't used to listen to Lil Kim and Trina.
oh man. Hey, when I heard Lil Kim
Yeah,
single, no time for fake niggas. No, no,
yeah,
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no, no. Like Lil Kim hard like Tupac to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
you
But
know?
but, but like I said, man, quit hating on her and Sexy Red and all them because we was listening to Lil Kim, we was listening to Trina, we was listening to all them chicks that was on that same type of time. We're
Mm-hmm.
hating on these youngest, man. Let them do their damn thing. Let them take the music where they take it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
and then you don't know what's in their contract. They probably gotta do
exactly,
that.
exactly. And they expressing they expressing their lifestyle, what they come up doing. Same way, like you ain't gonna tell me you was listening to Too Short and you got a problem with what Sexy Red saying.
Exactly.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you bought if you vibed to any of them Too Short albums, then leave Sexy Red the hell alone. Let her do what she's doing. Well, leave Glorilla the hell alone. Let her doing what she's doing. But Glorilla, that's Sister Cole. She,
Yes, he
bro,
is.
that yeah glow. That remind me of some old Memphis, man. Like that sound like something I would have heard on 8 Ball and MJG album.
See what I'm saying? And rest in peace, young Dolph. I like
Yeah,
Dolph
right. Oh
too.
yeah, hell yeah. Come on now. Dolph. Oh man. Dolph was
Mhm.
yeah, Dolph, yeah, hell yeah, man. Rest in peace, Dolph.
Yeah.
Dolph, man, Dolph was he was a real one. That was one of them ones there.
Hmm.
Definitely.
So, what's next for Uncle Reem?
Okay, so right now I'm just, I'm just trying to get this music promoted and and trying to just do what I gotta do to get as many ears listening to it as I can. That's in the near future, but I'm about to do a video for Shiro.
Ooh wee!
Now I have a video for Mama's Laws off that album. I did,
Yeah,
I put an EP out, towards
I
this,
seen it.
and so there's a video for Mama's Laws on my YouTube. That's Uncle Reem, Mama's Laws, and just you could find that video and just try to run it up if y'all can. But I'm working on a video for Shiro because
That's
just
what's
like you said,
popping.
that's one of your favorite joints. That's most of the feedback I've been getting. Everybody likes Shiro, so that's the next video.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. But all of the album is good. But people like what they like.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you could leave anything with the listeners of Riders Live, Uncle Ren, what would it be?
Man, just knowledge itself is of utmost importance. We just had Malcolm X's birthday 2 days ago, right? And
Mhm.
in the basis of his message was, self knowledge, right? Knowledge itself. Um, that's what we got. That's what we should focus on. When I say knowledge itself, it could be individual self, but also knowledge of your people. Know where you
Mhm.
come from, so you can know where you're going. That's the whole my whole philosophy. That I strive to live by, and then yeah, just check me out, Uncle Reem. I'm on Facebook, Instagram at Uncle Reem, Big Unc on TikTok. Check me out. I've been doing this for a while, man. I love this hip hop. Uh, yeah, just check it out, man. Let me know what you think about it. Pardon me. I'm I'm
It's
kind
all
of
good.
kind of having difficulty, finding the right words to say here.
It's all good.
I'm typically more articulate than I'm being right now,
Hey,
but
it's all good. You just being yourself.
yeah, but yeah, man, check your brother out. Don't let my age be a stigma for you tapping into the music because I try to provide something for everybody on that album. If you like the the 808 stuff. You know, my DMs is had that style. I try to stylistically. I try to be eclectic and to provide like an eclectic mixture of sounds. And satisfy the different areas of hip hop and what people like to listen to.
Yes, sir. I think you achieved that. And those songs you mentioned, the BBL song too is good. Like
Yeah,
a lot of those songs, I don't know if you did it on purpose, but they gonna resonate with the younger audience as soon as they
yeah,
see the titles.
it was intentional. Yeah, that
There
that
you
definitely was intentional.
go.
Yeah, it was intentional.
There you go. So this has been another episode of Riders Live. Peace.
Thank you. Peace.